Now then, welcome to this week's Daily Race C on Gran Turismo 7, where we have pretty much the V8 Vantage Cup around Kyoto Driving Park, full course. This race here that I'm going to show you is just one of many of the good races that was on this week. Pretty much every single one was extremely close racing unless you bottled it over a curb. And the curbs did claim a few lives over the course of this week. Now the aim here is to just stay on the track until we get comfortable, get in a groove. I often actually found this little section coming up when I'm actually no excuse here because I'm not too close to the guys in front, but I just do that. I just kind of go over the curb like an idiot. We give Fittipaldi there a bit of a run behind us, but he's not gonna go for it. He's gonna be sensible, realising I just made a silly error. Just try and keep in touch with these three in front. Now see this bit coming around here where you go down the hill to the next braking zone. What you're about to see is something disgusting and filthy, and I never want anyone to ever repeat it ever again. So we're just going to stop right here. Now, I'm going to give you an example of what not to do in racing, what never to do in racing, and what I did was so filthy I should be banned from racing altogether. But to give a bit of context, this was what happened in the last race. So we're going to come down to the same corner here, and seeing this Aston Martin let me know by flashing that that is going to be his corner. Yeah. So anyway, I did do that. But don't do that. It was the heat of the moment and I was annoyed from the last race, but that's my excuse. Even though it's not an excuse. But let's move on. I'm in second place, and the guy I accidentally tapped there is in third, but I do apologise for that. It was terrible. Anyway, Ice Taylor in front of me. That's the goal. That's who to get close to now after that slowed down everyone from that little incident. But yeah, these sweeping left-handers, and they were challenging, definitely. This is especially, I mean, Group 4 is not something I've raced in a long time, and also this race I've not raced in a very long time, so the combination was tricky to get used to, for me anyway. But yes, the racing nevertheless has been really good. But just trying to get the back at Ice Taylor here. Well, you're trying to get a bit of distance from behind too. You see on the replay there, it's still close even after that little incident. But I mean, I did races this week where, I mean, the whole pack from like 3rd to 12th was within like 4 seconds of each other. It was like ridiculous, some of the racing that was going on. And the racing continues to be good even at the front, even if there was not much of a unit pack. It still was very good racing. And I think the what's it called? The custom slipstream I think they had for this race. And it just kind of allows a bit more slipstream. For those of us who aren't as good at the game as like the top drivers, having custom slipstream makes it, I think, it's a lot easier to stay with the drivers who are a bit better than you. And it makes for better racing, but I get how, as I go over the curb a little bit there. Didn't lose it though, so I'm good. But yeah, I can see how custom slipstream can annoy a lot of the top racers. And I can definitely see why. But for those of us who are a bit not as skillful, a bit lower tier, I think it makes for much funner racing. Now we have gained about half a second on the German and the Indian chap behind us. Me and Ice Taylor are trying to move forward a bit, but then again, it's the same thing with it. It's just a tow. I'm staying with. I think he's a much faster racer than me, Ice Taylor, but I'm staying with him because of the tow. And again, that's probably why some people are annoyed by it. But yeah, we're racing pretty good right now. Staying on the track. Hit that very well. That was a very good corner. And I've got the run on Ice Taylor here. We're going to go for the move early on in the race. See if we can make it stick. Don't break too late this time. That was good. A little bit of contact, but that wasn't bad. Ice Taylor keeps the position. He's on the inside for the next corner. Really have to be brave if you want to go for a move there, because the next corner is this left-hander, so even if you're up on the inside, the person you're trying to overtake will have the inside for the next corner, which makes that actually quite a hard overtaking spot to pull off. This is a good overtaking bit here sometimes. If you hit the run, you could just sweep up the inside going into this corner. But you have to be going quite a bit faster than the guy ahead. But it was definitely doable going into this left-hander. I think this left-hander was probably the hardest corner in the track for me to get used to. It was like very difficult to know when to get back on the accelerator fully. I found that difficult. There was not much markers in place. It was more, I just did it off of vibes, really. I didn't go for the overtake there into that corner. That was a really good overtaking zone there, but I decided to go for a bit of a bump draft and let him go and see if we can get away from the pack in third. But all it's really done is Ancient Pleb has gained a few tenths just from doing that. I say I'll just go a bit wide here. I notice he does seem to be struggling in a few of these corners. So it's hard to tell just because he's in first. Clean Air doesn't have the slip obviously when you're in first, so it's kind of hard to tell if if you are faster than them or you're only still in touch with them because you've got the quite strong slipstream that's in place on this race. So we're coming around the final corner here onto the final straight, and we've kind of got a bit of a group of 5 of us. You see on the replay there, and in 6th place is just a little bit of a gap behind Fittipaldi on the timing screen there. Setting the fastest lap momentarily there. It's not a very good time for this race, but it shows at least we got competitive pace even on the second lap. Usually it'll be low 28s you'll be looking for, or even into the high 27s. I got a few of them for me this week. So the pace is good. It's decent. It's there, and we've got a bit of a run on Ice Taylor again. That section, particularly that little kind of slalomy uphill bit, you cannot keep speed in first. Now we go a bit wide and receive a bit of a tap from Ancient Pleb behind. That was our fault though. I kind of messed up that corner a bit, following that close behind Ice Taylor. He's going to go defensive, or he's going to look like going defensive, but he comes back into the centre of the track. He does go deep, and then that's going to be an opportunity for me. Get on the power as high as you can there. The car likes to slide through that corner if you get it wrong. But Ice Taylor's going to keep position. Got some of the inside line, as I said before. That inside line from that next corner is crucial. So even if he made that mistake going wide at the initial corner, he's still got that inside line for the next one. So he does keep the position. We're going to tap him again a little bit. And we do go a little bit wide. Ancient Pleb's going to have a little look up the inside there. But we do close it off just in time. And we've got another run on Ice Taylor, somehow. We are on the outside for the corner. Braking early, and Ancient Pleb goes for an insane dive bomb. Sends himself nearly right off the track. And we just got up the inside of both of them. And claim 2 positions in one corner. So that was a decent overtake. It was kind of all from Ancient Pleb's little cock up there. But we are in the lead for the first time on this race. Now it's just about trying to keep it for these next couple of corners, because he's still looking at the replay there, right on my arse. Ice Taylor, he's right there. So it's again so hard when you're in first to try and get away because of the slipstream strength. And that see this bit here where I just went off slightly wide. That is the curb that will claim your entire life and everything that you own. It's very dangerous, and if you hit it wrong, it will just send you flying. It's not as bad in these Group 4 cars. The actual kind of danger with the Group 4 cars is not the second curb at that part, but it's the first one going in. If you brake wrong, your car can slide the opposite way to where the corner is going, and you just end up 180 degrees into the wall, which is not what you want. And it did happen to me once, thankfully not in this race, but it was quite dangerous. Hence why you might see me going a bit slower through there, because I'm just so scared of that corner. Now we're going up that slalom, coming down to the second left-hander, long left-handers. Trying to get that right, trying to get in on the inside of the final part of that corner. It's kind of like a late apex. It's not like you don't ever go very wide on it, but there is like a tiny little bit of a late apex. You're trying to get on that curb to generate as much speed as you can. It's all about the exit speed with these cars, I feel like. You're very careful through there too, because if you get on the power too early, it's that little corner there's like a bump somewhere, and it very much upsets the car. If you get on the power too early, it'll just send the whole thing sliding. And that was the case for every car that was trying on this track. Whether you were the V8 Vantage, which was probably the best car for it. The straight line speed was ridiculous on this car. The M4 was strong. The Silvia was strong with tyre wear, and I saw quite a few of the Jaguars too. They were also strong, but mainly it was the V8s. If you were trying your damnedest to win the race, you'd have to go on a V8 Vantage. So we're still staying ahead here. We're not gaining any time, but we're not making much mistakes, and we're just kind of got our heads down, trying to ignore the fact that they are never far away from behind you on this game, on this race, I should say. But there is a group of 3 of us, but I did see there, the pit stops, there was a bit of choice. Now there's a few folk that picked the last lap, and you could do a bit of an undercut on this race. But I guess the standard strategy, you would just pit lap 4, halfway through, change the tyres, and off you go. The tyre wear was only ×1, but it was enough that by the end of the race, if you didn't change your tyres, you would be going a hoot of a slow. It was not great. Now we're all going to dive into the pits here. Interestingly, Fittipaldi does stay out. But me and Ice Taylor and Sprint Driftwood does go into the pits for a quick change of tyres. But as I said, there was a bit of strategy. You could easily kind of stay out for another lap, or go in at a lap early and just try and get a bit of clean air if you're battling too much, and try and get ahead of the folk that like to try and win the race on the first corner, which did happen a few times. Which is kind of why qualifying was really important in this. You could start further up and avoid a lot of the mid-pack fighting, because you lost some amount of time with folk trying to win the race from the first braking zone. You wouldn't think it happens. Like I'm A+. I'm not like a high A+, but I am still A+. And it's crazy how much folk still race like that at this level. Just thinking, first corner, I'm going for every overtake that I can, even if the guy ahead you. I mean, yes, if the guy ahead you makes a mistake, obviously you're obviously entitled to go for the overtakes. But I mean, lap 1 of an 8-lap race where it's 2.5 minutes per lap, not really necessary. We're gonna go a bit defensive here. Wasn't sure if Ice Taylor was gonna go for the move. But he goes for a look of a cut back, but I do kind of cover off the inside. And then we've got that position defensively secured. We're kind of pushed them back a bit. Trying to get away, as I said, when you're at the lead of a pack, it's very difficult. And so now on the replay, there is 4 of us in this pack here, this little pack. Ice Taylor, Asian Pleb, and the German that I accidentally knocked off a little bit earlier. Slightly wide here again, but this is another one of those left-handers. You kind of do have a late apex, but I was so struggling when to get on the power from that corner. It was so difficult to judge, for me anyway. But the rest of the track was okay. It was just the long left-handers. I just could not figure them out properly. Losing the backhand a bit on the car there. Just trying to change it up to second for that corner and get on the power as early as possible. Is what to do. But you do. This backhand was quite swiggly sometimes when you got on the power too early. This is actually a car I'd never driven on this game at all until this race. As you can probably tell by some of the cornering that you're seeing. What we're going to see now is that curb I spoke about earlier claim its first victim of the race. Look behind Ice Taylor there, and he's lost it, and he's gone, and he's head first into a wall. So sad. But anyway, we've lost one. So now it's just me, Ancient Pleb, and Katai, the German, in contention. Notice the first and second going to the pits, so we are hopefully going to come out still in first. It depends. Fittipaldi was quite close up behind us, so it will depend on where he comes out. But we do get ahead, and he's still in the pits, so no problems there. He does come out there. You see the replay in the background. So in first with 3 laps to go. Ancient Pleb is there. He's right on our arse. Actually starting to clear the German in 3rd place a little bit. Might end up being a 2-horse race towards the end, but we'll see. Up this slalom. He has got the run. You see on the timings at the top left, he is so much faster than me. He is gaining. Look a bit defensive. Just let him know that I'm not going to give this position up easily. A little bit wide, coming in for that late apex. Touching the grass on the inside. Getting the car to rotate a little bit. But he is right on me. Wonder if he's going to go for a move. We're kind of going to the middle of the track. Cut back to the left a little bit. Braking in good time. Not taking any risks here. There is still 3 laps to go. Changing up to second. Get on the power really softly, but as early as we possibly can. And off the throttle a bit, trying to get this car rotate. Up onto the curb. And we're still in first. Now, the lap times were consistent. Not incredibly fast, but they are still consistent. Obviously ignore lap 4 and 5 as they're the pit stop laps. We're going to go a bit wide here. And Ancient Pleb is going to go up the inside. We leave a bit of a gap. And he gets himself through. Fair enough. That's what I said earlier. It's very possible to overtake on that corner. And we just went a bit wide and just opened the door up for him. Nothing we could really do, except just be a better racer. We hope he's going to go deep, but he doesn't. He brakes really good. We're just tucking in behind. Get on the power early. Yeah, that's a tiny mistake going slightly wide, and the door just opened. And it was just a silly error on our part. And now we've got some racing. We've got some racing to do. And the goal here is to not get carried away and try and get momentum to get that position back straight away, because even look on the replay there are people behind us waiting to pick up the scraps. 3 of them behind us now, in a little group of their own. So while yes, fight for position because we're getting nearly the end of the race, look on the replay, there's so much people right behind us that will just take up any scraps if we slow down too much. So fight, but don't be silly. That's the goal here. I don't think we were taking that corner right there. I think we were going in the inside too early. I think we need to take a wider berth, which we only found out kind of after doing these races, which is really good timing. On to lap 7, 2 laps to go. We are behind Ancient Pleb. We are trying to not be silly. Skipping ahead to the end of the slalom, we have got the run. We're going to look up to the outside. He covers the inside line. Give him a bit of a tap, which I didn't actually mean to do. I just took way too long to move over. And he gets a really good line out of there actually. But we're going for the exit speed, and we do come out with that a bit faster. So we've got a bit of a run. Dive bomb is so on. It's so on here. But we're not going to go for it. Think better of it. It's more of a desperate last lap attempt, if anything. See, his car gets a bit squiggly out there. How easy it is. That's just getting on the power a bit too early, and the car just loses balance. We look for a bit of a cutback here. Not quite close enough. So we're just going to let him go off the power a little bit. Give him position. Nothing silly. We're all side by side through there. It was going to end in disaster. This next, now this the most painful long left-hander. It's just awful. I hate it. But it's actually easier when I'm following someone because I can do what they do, which is probably not the wisest thing in the world. But we do have another run on Ancient Pleb. He covers the inside. We're going on the outside. On the brakes at the same time, he goes a slightly bit deep. Bit of contact. I looked for the undercut a bit too late there. I ended up... it was a bit laggy, I thought, too. I don't know if it was a bit laggy there, but... Went for the cutback. I didn't quite pull off. But we're still there, still in contention. Still nearly a second on the guy in 3rd and 4th. Very deep goes Ancient Pleb. But he still keeps the position. It's very, very difficult in places like that to try and get past because there's really not much going for you. Even if they do go deep, especially from the same car, there's not much you can do when the acceleration is the exact same. Going to go for a bit of a switch here. Massive contact, and I let him go. That's another case of just what not to do. I'm getting a bit erratic here. I did let him throttle a little bit, let him go back up, because that was disgusting and filthy. But if you look on the timing sheet, Fittipaldi is still 1 second behind. I give him a bump there to say I'm sorry. But Fittipaldi is still a second behind, so I think they were fighting just as hard as we were there. But yes, try my best not to do that again. Jesus Christ. Thinking back to the first lap, that was disgusting. Let's not repeat that. But it's looking like it's going to be either 1st or 2nd in this race, which is good. It's a guaranteed decent position. Give him a little bit of a tap there. I don't really want to go for the move into this corner because if you go side by side through here, that's a lot of time lost. Don't want any more risk of Fittipaldi, even though it looks pretty safe. He's 1.4 seconds behind now, so I think we're safe. So now it's just about trying to get first place. That's all this is about now. He goes defensive. We're breaking it just about the same time. Looking for the cutback, but he places that car pretty well. Big squiggly again. It's just repeated the last lap. It's kind of frustrating. I'm looking, I'm thinking, I am faster than this guy. But if I was faster, I would have saved him first, obviously. But I just couldn't keep it together on the track. See the time difference from lap 7, like nearly another 6/10. Well, it's a second from my fastest lap, just from all the fighting. It's how much time you lose fighting is ridiculous. But it's the reality of motorsport, I guess. Sim racing altogether. And this is going to be the last real overtaking zone. Can we pull it off? We're looking on the inside. There's a little bit of gap. We absolutely send it. But we send it a bit too much. We go too deep. And he gets the cutback on us, like we did on him earlier. But we're still there. We're alongside. which means we do have the inside for the next corner, as long as we can keep within his axle. But he does keep ahead, but he leaves a space. I'm going to go back in behind. I don't know why I did go back in behind, because I probably just should have stayed with him. I got scared looking behind. Fittipaldi's right there. That's like he was just getting a second on us from that little bit of fighting and really going that deep. We're hoping for a bit of a disaster there. Nothing happens. Ancient Pleb has kept it from me on the track. Now third is right on my arse. We brake a little bit early, it's not causing another collision. I kind of go in my head. It's a bit boring again, but I thought, I don't want to send it here. I think I'm happy with second. Fittipaldi actually goes off there in the background. Now we are getting, and we're getting, going up to the line. We're getting, but the straight's just not long enough. And it is going to be second place, which I am happy with. It was a good race with Ancient Pleb. A few bits of contact, but nothing too sinister, except the lap 1 disaster, which I'm very sorry, and will never repeat that again in my entire life. But thanks for watching if you stayed this far, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry.